An emotional meeting it was on the launch of a mining report titled Malawi's Troubled Oil Sector, Licenses, Contracts and Their Implications. On one end, authors stood their ground that the report is legitimate, while on the other, government officials maintained that some of the content does not present what they claim to be the actual status on the ground regarding the subject matter. The report focuses on events that took place in May 2014, just a few days before the country's elections, when government signed some contracts with some petroleum companies but left a lot to be desired. Oxfam Country Director John Makina says, among others, the report finds that the Malawi government did injustice to itself as a majority of the terms in the contract provide less benefits to the country. For instance, the report indicates that Malawi was to benefit only 5% of oil if extracted from Lake Malawi, and that government continues to shun the idea of making public contents of the contracts.
Well, I think in terms of the concerns, we're looking at the speed at which the processes were done. One other ideal situation would have been to wait until the policy and the legislature is in place before going into the signing. But what we have seen is the reverse of the same. So those are the kind of major areas that I would talk about now.
Senior mining engineer for the Ministry of Natural Resources, Energy and Mining, Cassius Chiwambo, however, urges that the report leaves a lot to be desired, saying a majority of the findings are misleading.
The report, per se, I can say somehow lacks balance because it did not consider the views of government. If you go through the report, you find out that it is reporting basing on the May 2014 signed agreement between government and Rack Gas MB45, as well as government and Pacific Oil. But then from that time, after we uplifted the suspensions, there have been several other processes that government we have done in order to rectify whatever is in there.
Meanwhile, author of the report, a Canadian consultant, Don Hubbard, says eventually all parties will agree that something went wrong in the contracts despite their minor differences.
Well, I think that there was some debate this morning, but what was interesting for me is that nobody challenged any of the analysis or the findings of the report. There were questions about who was consulted, there were questions about whether there have been renegotiations going on, but nobody contested any of the core analysis or the core findings. So I think actually, in spite of the heated discussions, the report has created a foundation for future discussion and debate on how to take the petroleum sector forward.
The petroleum mining sector is new in Malawi as no extraction activities have begun. For Zodiac, this is Veronica Mali.